Max Rock with Multifamily Geeks to go through an interesting case study. So here's a multifamily property underwriting. This is for a 20 unit. Here it is, here you can see. This one's in Houston, Texas. It's a 20 unit. They want $2,125,000 for 20 units. We think they might take 10% less. So we've got a price in here of $1,806,000. That is $90,300 per unit. There's 14,480 square feet for a price of $124.72 per square foot. So here's the gross scheduled rents, $167,000, vacancies $9,000, which is 5%. There's no concessions or bad debt that we have record of. Total income then would be $158,656. The utility reimbursement, there's a small RUBS program, right? Resident utility reimbursement program, right? Where tenants pay a small part of the utilities that's shared by the whole building or complex. Other income, $5,000 small. Effective gross income, $164,934. This is per year, right? Very small income. Property taxes, $15,000. Insurance, $14,000. Payroll, $0. So I don't know what that says to you, but this is where we're headed with this example. The repairs and maintenance are $17,584. No money from Make Ready. General admin's low at $105. Management is $0. Electricity is $2,770. Marketing is $1,348. Trash is $1,432. Gas is $2,544. Landscaping's $200. Not much of a lawn. That's per year. And supplies are $1,000. Water is about $10,000. All right. So it looks like, depending on what their P&I expenses are, they're making 1.4% cash on cash. Well, now that's their column. That's the sellers right here. Now we start to look at the buyers over here in I. That's us. We're thinking we can get $215 more per unit, and I'll explain more about that in a second. From comps, that would bump up the gross potential rent, and this underwriting template really doesn't have a GPR, but we kind of mix things together here and go for a GPR. We subtract out of it vacancy at 5%. We match the sellers. 1% because they don't have anything for concessions and should. 5% for bad debt because no way they have zero bad debt. All right, so that takes our new number. That's a higher $219,000 a year. Subtract out, and we get $195,000. Put in the same amount of RUBS, the same amount of other income to get back to $201,000. Now, here's where the plot thickens. We have a property tax statement here, and notice that you can go right here and just add up all these numbers. Add all these together, you're going to get about 2.4%. 2.4% is right here. That translates into 0.024. In Texas, it's based on 100% of the purchase price will be the reassessment value for the property taxes. So that'll be $43,000 after we buy it, $344. Notice their insurance is $711. We're going to match that per unit. We don't have anything for payroll. I want you to keep your mind on that because we're going to come back to that. Repairs and maintenance are $600. We're going to match that. Usually we do about $550. We do about $200. We usually do some for general and admin. We're dropping it for the moment. Just bear with me. We have an 8% charge for management. They have 0 in for management, by the way. We need something in there. There's no payroll. Remember, management pays the management company, who manages the managers, and the managers are paid out of payroll. So if you have no payroll, you have no workers to do the job of property management. And an 8% fee of an asset manager, right, so a manager of a manager, that's not going to buy you very much. That's not going to buy very much for us in terms of services for this property. So when you're thinking, well, 20 units, what could the harm be, right? Well, a few months of having 2 or 3 units vacant in a 20 unit, and you're going to pay a hefty price for this. So you're going to want a person, you need people to do work, and you need to pay them. So we're going to match their electricity and these other charges we match. We really don't have any contract services. It's been sort of stripped out of here also. So some basic parts of property management have been removed. We figured we could get a 20% down loan. We talked to our loan broker. He said maybe 3.7%, but go with 4 to be conservative. We got some other fees in here, 3% closing, 1 loan, 5 for AC fee. They want us to do a modest exterior upgrades, so 2,000, maybe even 2,500 on this. 50,000 bucks right here. Okay, well, this should equal 20 times 25. Let's modify our formula a little bit. Get that back in there. We must have dropped it out at some point. So we need $580,000 in a raise, and we're going to get 5.6% cash on cash. If we did a syndication on this, which is awfully hard with such a small property, the cash on cash return to investors would only be 3.9%. It's going to be hard to get anybody to cough up $580,000 cash for a 4% return. Not interested, they're going to be, right? Just send me somewhere else. Also notice with this, what we're claiming we can get in terms of comps at $1.26 per square foot right here. If you strip this back out and say it's what it is, it's going from 96 cents a square foot up to $1.25, $1.26. What did we have for it before? Let me go back to what we had before. I forgot already. There we go, $2.15 at $1.26. So here's some of the underwriter's questions, and I think she did a great job. This is a good presentation of this property. Mill rate 2.4, we've taken care of that here. Repairs and maintenance 600 a door, fine. 90% of asking, fine. General admin, it's been put somewhere else. Value add is exterior cosmetic work. They've gone through and rehabbed all the interiors apparently. It's a momentum play because apparently the rents are well below market. That to me is a red flag. Which owner in the world lets their rents get well below market? Well, we know it does happen, so maybe. All right, we'll keep an open mind. Let's see. Apparently the owner self-manages this property, but notice if you self-manage and you've got payroll at zero, how much are you paying yourself to self-manage? Because you got to pay whether you like it or not. You're paying somebody. Otherwise, you're just free labor to manage your own 20 unit. That's great. Maybe this price jumped up so much. Maybe you bought it for 100 grand and now you're selling it for 2 million. Okay, I get it. You worked for free for a few years. It's worth it, right? Let's see. The data we have, the broker has prepared some different things in this. These are the two properties. They look nice, two sort of twins side by side. Here's the address. It's in Houston. Let's see here. Value add, 20 units. This is just a flyer. There's a little bit bigger piece of an OM here. Right. That's kind of nice looking. I like it. I don't like flat roofs, and they look so ugly to me. It looks like they're not in good shape, but they say they've replaced the roofs. I find that kind of hard to believe. They look so bad in those pictures. Looks like there's water stains, right, in different areas. So you got pooling up on that flat roof, which is why we hate flat roofs. One is vacant out of the 20. They don't really have any data in the file folder. Let's see what we've got here. Looking at the class of the neighborhoods, this is a C-class neighborhood it's on the edge of, and this is surrounded by a D-class neighborhood right here. So I'm not so happy about that. That's probably a red flag. And then, let's see what else. Well, so the big questions are things like, are the interior upgrades really that good? Do we want to go see them and see if we really, do we need to put more money into the interiors? I wish we could see some actual financial docs. On a 20 unit, owners who self-manage are prone to bad behavior. Bad behavior as in possibly they're collecting rent in cash, possibly they're, I don't know what they're doing, right? But their records aren't good. You can't afford to have like Yardi or a professional property management system. So you maybe are using QuickBooks and it works, but it's not real clean. It doesn't help you do tracking, and just can't afford it for that kind of property. Self-managed, if it's self-managed, who's going to manage it when we buy it, right? I'm not going to go over there and manage it. Are you close enough to visit the property and manage it, right? What's the plan? Are you going to syndicate this? If the raise is $580,000, syndication requires you pay investors 10 to 15%. If it's me, I'm not going to cough up my $580,000 cash to get these kind of dismal returns, 4%, as we've said before. So I think where we're headed with this is an illustration of why Why would you look for a 20-unit property when you could look for a 200-unit property and syndicate the whole thing? You know, here's another point. A set of syndication paperwork for this is going to cost $20,000, $25,000. Well, it's the same price whether you're syndicating 20 units or 200 units. For us, over the years, the 200 to 300 unit properties have been the best performing syndications that we've ever done. Anything smaller becomes a headache. You would spend as much time buying this 20 unit as you would syndicating a 200 unit. And think of the number of people involved in syndicating a property. I don't know, it's 2 to 10 people, right? Of various positions and roles and responsibilities. How are you going to feed these people on this kind of AC fee, right? It's paltry. It's not enough to make it work. So what I would encourage you to do is think bigger. You're gonna be able to buy a 200 to 300 unit multifamily property through a syndication more easily than you are by this 20 unit. This 20 unit is going to be a headache. You're going to lose money. You're going to end up taking either money or sweat equity out of your pocket to keep this thing going. And for what good purpose? You could leverage that tenfold if you jump up to a 200 unit, and 15-fold, right, if you jump up to a 300 unit. So I would encourage you to think bigger. When we're talking multifamily properties, we'd like to syndicate 200 to 300 units. That's the size of property that's really going to pay the bills. Okay, so just to give you some background, go over here, go to MultifamilyGeeks.com. Okay, scroll down to the bottom. Here's us, here's our team. You can see all that when you're here. Here's our properties. Scroll down to here. Open up the free portfolio trainer, we call it. This one right now, it's beta version 3.22. By the time you open it, it's going to be a different version. Notice all the tabs along the bottom. There are 7 properties you can underwrite and put into a combined underwriting template, and then a comprehensive tab where you can do the full 10-year pro forma if you want. You can play with the hold period. You can refi it throughout the process and check all the internal rate of return, the IRR at every stage, and in all kinds of scenarios. All right. What you want to do is come over here and say File, Download, Microsoft Excel. It'll download it to your downloads folder here. Come back up to you, say you're in a Google Drive, right? Say New, File, Upload. It'll open to your downloads file. If not, click Downloads. Here it is right here, MFG Portfolio Trainer Underwriting Template Beta version 3.22. Say Open. That will upload it to this file folder. Here it is right here, and now it's ready to roll. We're ready to fill this out for this property, and that's how this one got in here, right here, that we've been looking at. That's where this came from. Okay, it is a Multifamily Geeks portfolio trainer. See all the different properties down here. We just used one property. We dropped in the T12. See the other videos on how to process the T12. And with that said, also please, you're welcome to join our email list right here when you're on the website, and we will send out regular emails going, hey, we've got a new version out, come and download the new version. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I hope you expand your mind when you're thinking of buying a multifamily property. I hope you're not thinking of 20 or 50 or 100. I hope you're thinking of 200 to 300 units. Get a team together, figure out syndication, and take that sucker, that 200 to 300 units down, run your value add on it, and this underwriting template will help you underwrite the entire thing. Make sure you're making a good choice and buying it for the right price, okay? Hope that helps. This is Max with Multifamily Geeks.